In this class, we are going to implement our search for our users. See, in already application, when I pull it down, I see my search area here. But for our application here, I don't see anything. So even though we have implemented our search controller, we are not actually using it. So in our view didload, I'm going to write some lines of code so we can see our search controller there. So I'm going to access my navigation item, and then I'm going to access the search controller, and this will be equal to our search controller that we have here on top. Okay, and the next thing is to set our search controller parameters. So we say search controller dot search result updater is equals to self, so it's our view. Then we say again search controller dot dismisses background during presentation is equals to false, so we can still see the background there. And finally we say definition presentation context is equals to true. So let me run my code again and we check if it's working this time. So if I pull down, you see my search appears here. But even if I have something here, when I search, there is nothing happening here. So we are going to fix this as well. The reason for this is our number of sections and number of rows doesn't depend on what we have in our filtered users. So it takes the number of all users and present it. So we need to find a way to dynamically check if our user is searching or it just want to see all the results. In order to do this, we are going to check if our search controller is active. So we say if search controller dot is active, and when it's active it means like it's visible here and like this state. And we need to check if the user has inputted some kind of text here, so it's not an empty there. So we say search controller dot search bar dot text is not equals to empty string. So our user has something there searching. Then in this case we are going to return one. So we will have only one section. Else we are going to return a different number here. Let me cut this and paste it here, and we are going to return, actually I'm going to implement the code for let's see here, I'm going to implement the code for this grouped table view while we are here, so we don't have to go back and forth all the time. So I'm going to get our all users grouped dot count. So number of sections, so one section, two section, depends how many groups we have. So because we are grouping them alphabetically, the number of groups we have, the number of sections we want to return here. So this is the code for our number of sections in the row. Then we need to do the same thing for number of rows. So I'm going to copy this. And number of rows in section, let's clean it here, and this time we are going to return when we have a search, right? here we are going to say return, and we are going to access our filtered users, because this is where we are going to keep our results for our search. So we return the number of filtered users we have, else we are going to return users. Actually, let's first put some variables here. So we are going to do find section title. Okay, so in order to find section title, I say let section title is equals to self dot section titles. So this is our array there, and we will get the section here. The section we are receiving from our table view. So we pass our section to get our section title. Then we are going to find user for given title. So we say and this is going to be let user is equals to self.all users grouped, and again we are going to pass our section title here. Remember, our users, all users grouped is in a nested dictionary with a key and value. So if our key, we pass our title, and then we want to get our user back. Let me see where I am. And finally, we are going to, this is going to be plural because our section may contain more than one user, okay? So then we are accessing these users, and we need to unwrap this, and we need to return the count. So we see how many users in this specific section we have saved. So this in case if we don't have a search active. Okay, this is it for our two functions here. The next thing we are going to do is our self for row at index path, which we are going to do in our next lecture.